Hello, hello, Just Gem here and welcome, or indeed welcome back to my channel. I'll start by saying a warm welcome to everyone who's new here because there's been an influx, to my very pleasant surprise. In one day I gained like 35 subscribers, which for me is very unusual. So welcome if you are one of those 35 new subscribers. Out of sheer curiosity, if you are one of those new people, how did you find me? Because one, there was a lot of subscribers, and two, there were a lot of additional entries to the giveaway that I ran, and they were like in little waves as well. So I don't know if YouTube was suddenly pushing that video. Either way, I am very pleased to have you here. I hope that you enjoy my content enough to stay. I'm just grateful to have you here. Today I am going to be trying out the Bloodmoon palette from Electrum Cosmetics. See, that's pretty true to colour. See, I filmed a video before where I showed you the palette up close and some swatches because I wanted to be able to show you the palette true to colour. But I think that's pretty decent. So one of the benefits, I think, of perhaps filming in natural light Just before I show you the swatches, I just wanted to show you the palette up close and hopefully get it as true to colour as I can. I think that's pretty accurate. I wonder if that's a touch too bright, my light over there. There we go. I think I'd say that that's pretty damn true to colour. And now the swatches. I've got to say, it's a very striking colour story. I definitely don't have anything that looks like this. And I think the fact that they're hand pressed, like you can tell because they're kind of very unique, and there's varying formulas in here, and the shifts in here were quite stunning as well. I'm trying to think ahead to what look or looks I want to do. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to do one on each eye or just one look. I don't know if I go somewhat monochromatic, or maybe I could do two looks, each monochromatic, or one look where I just throw everything at it. Still haven't quite decided. Maybe I'll start doing, I was going to do monochromatic-y, possibly. Two monochromatic looks, maybe. Do I deliberately not use the bluey shades and stick to the fiery tones? Maybe I'll do that, you know. Let's do that. Let's not have any blue. Who am I? Zoeva 227, methinks, and I'm going to go into the lightest shade, which is called Luminous. One of the reasons that I don't have a mirror, because that doesn't have a mirror in it. I'm going to use the mirror in this because it was to hand, it was close, and the mirror is a nice clear mirror and it's clean. So yeah, we'll use that. Okay. Oh, I haven't primed my eyelids. Ooh. Gosh, you'd think I'd never done this before. Right, let's try this again. Good Lord. If you are new here, I am normally more prepared than this. I don't know what's going on today. But I was thrown off by obviously the fact that the palette doesn't have a mirror. So if you like a palette with a mirror, that's something to consider with Bloodmoon from Electrum Cosmetics. Once again, Luminous. So it's very pigmented. The reason I am using this palette today is one, because it's new to me. I've not used it yet. And two, because obviously Electrum very recently released Dark Winter, and I thought to myself, before you dive in and, you know, just go ahead and buy it because it is a palette that appeals to me, maybe use a palette from the brand that you've already got and determine whether or not you like that. So that's what I'm doing. It was interesting doing the swatches. The formulas in there vary quite a lot, and I wonder if that's something that is easier to do when you do make hand pressed shades. feels like it's almost like an advert for Hourglass. It isn't, it's just the best and closest mirror I could find. And this shade is nice because I think you can see, or maybe you can't because my lighting is a bit off today. Shall I zoom you in a little bit more? Hopefully you can see how that's covered up my discoloration. It's like just really evened out my lid. So it's a tone that's not too far off my skin tone, but yeah, it's just made that really nice and even there. So that's quite a nice transition. And then let's go into Luna, and I'll use a Refa 14, and we'll kind of use that to perhaps deepen things up a little bit. Yeah, like that. Yeah. And that's quite nice. They've layered very nicely on top of each other. So sometimes I find, I don't know if you ever experienced this, when you try to layer a shade, you have to go in and in and in to get it to layer, but like straight away that's just deposited over the top and then blended in quite nicely. I don't feel like I've had to kind of keep dipping in to get that shade to build. Soma for a bit of depth. So I'm wiping off the pigment off my Refa 14 and I'm going into Soma now. And let's see what that looks like when I put it on the outer corner. And possibly, if I don't think that that's given me enough depth, I might dip into one of the bluey tones, possibly. But I don't know, I kind of like the idea of having a fiery look, so maybe I won't. Or maybe I could use Prophecies, because it's not a... It's like a satiny shimmer, the shade Prophecies that's in here. But this is nice. A bit softer. So I do like to put some depth in my outer V. To me, I feel that finishes a look off. But then sometimes I think it's quite nice to keep it light. So I'll see. I think I do want a bit of depth. So Refa 13. Let's try Aruna. It'll be interesting to see if this kind of makes things a little muddy, or if it... Yeah, no, this is going to work. This is going to work. Yeah, so much for avoiding those blues, guys, but I just wanted a little pop, a little depth. I think a look just with the other colours would be nice, but I just wanted a bit more. Plus you get to see a bit more of the shades in action this way as well. I did see Dark Winter and I was very drawn to that, and you'll know by now I'm a broken record. Blue, purple, greens are shades that I'm drawn to. So that's why I think Dark Winter appealed. And then I thought to myself, well, try Bloodmoon now that you've got it and see what you think of the formula. Dark Winter is something you can obviously pick up down the line. I've forgotten the name of the owner now, but I know that she had a few ready to go at launch, but they've gone. And she's got a pre-order, and I don't know if that's still running. If it's still running, I'll let you know on screen. And it'll be interesting to see if it does come to Monolith, because that's where I bought Bloodmoon from. I do like the blend I've been able to get. I think it's It's very nice, it's smooth. Because I did wonder if by throwing in this blue it might make things a bit messy, but I quite like that. I don't know if I want to, I don't want the blue to take over, but I kind of want it a teeny bit higher, but without covering up all of the brown. This is a nice base of mattes, I think, in preparation for the shimmer. And what I might do is, because I have done the same look on each eye, I might put NYX glitter primer just on one eye, just to be able to see the difference. Still got the shimmers on my arm, so let's determine which shimmers I want to put on my lid. In my swatches, I think I said that I thought Umbra and something else was similar. It's Celestial and Celine that look similar. Celestial's the one that's white in the pan. Those are the ones that look similar. They've just got different shifts. So that's Celestial. And that's Celine. I see, yeah, they are different. Just the shifts. I think I want Celine and Esmeralda. With Esmeralda on the outside. So what I've found here is that because the glitter glue's on this eye, it's kind of immediately stuck to the glitter glue. And it's almost as if on this eye, maybe it's just my sloppy application, but it's spread more on this eye. Gosh, the shifts in that. Like it's got some red, it's got some gold, it's got some green. That's pretty. And now Celine. How do I want to apply this? I'll try my refer number 2 first. I might have loaded that up a bit much. Celine is smoother. I don't know if they look different now. Interesting. See, in person, it's easier for me to see the difference on this eye, and it's probably because of the shiftiness. But like straight on, I don't know if you can see the difference at all. It's like they've merged into one shade. Maybe there you can. Esmeralda's got more red, while Celine is a bit more sort of on the orange side. And then just because I can, I am going to put Celestial on as well, because I'm just curious to see what it's going to look like on my eyelid. So I'm picking up my Zoeva 237, that's my detail shade brush, and I'm going to pop that. It's like an inner corner shade. A bit dark for an inner corner, but I was more out of curiosity, to be honest. At certain angles, it's really odd because they're all so shifty. At some angles, they just look the same. But then you turn and then you can see the distinctness. And it is odd not having a light in a corner, and maybe I shouldn't have put Celestial in there, but I just really wanted to see what it looked like. Right, I'm going to put concealer on and do my under eye. And they do have some fallout. I want to say that's Esmeralda. That's very lightly fallen out there. For the under eye, I'm probably, well, I say probably, I am going to go into Aruna, which is the blue deeper shade that I used to deepen things up, and I'll probably smudge that out with maybe Soma. So let's see what that looks like. Smoky. And this is my Zoeva 230 I'm using to do that. It's like my go-to under eye brush. And then Refa 13 into Soma. I'm just going to very lightly run that underneath, just to take away some of the sharpness. It's quite a dramatic, smoky-ish look there. I always feel like I neglect like I should take things higher. Should I attempt to do that now? And hopefully not ruin things. Just taking that blue a bit higher. It's as if I forget you've got slightly hooded lids, so you need to go higher than you think you should. There we go. That looks better, doesn't it? Okay, I'm going to finish off the rest of my face, and I'm going to give you sort of first impressions. I mean, it's an older palette and I don't know how readily available it is these days, but I do know it's on Monolith, so if you're in the UK or Europe it's available there, plus it's on sale. In fact, it went on sale immediately after I bought it, but I'm okay with that because if I had waited for the sale price, the two palettes I bought, I'd have then had to pay postage, and then with the sale price and postage it actually would have worked out more, so it's okay. I know it's an entirely different palette, but if you're just thinking purely based on formulas, maybe it could help you decide if you want dark winter, which is partly why I'm deciding to use this now. I'm jabbering on, let me finish my face. I look finished, well, kind of finished. I wanted to show you how this looked now, but I've got an idea to run Movie Star from Colourpop in my inner waterline, because this is very dark and vampy, and I'm just curious if adding Movie Star, what kind of effect that would have on this kind of look. But first I want to show you it without Movie Star so that you can see. I don't know how much of a difference that's made. I think I've applied it very lightly because I've been very careful, because my eyes are finished and I don't want my eyes to run and for things to get ruined. But I think it's just added like a pop of brightness and perhaps widened my eyes a tiny bit. You'll have to let me know. I don't know. Maybe it's done absolutely nothing at all. So there we have it. That's my finished look using Bloodmoon from Electrum Cosmetics. I do wish it had a mirror, because that was a bit of a ball ache not having a mirror in there, but I do understand that including a mirror would have probably increased the price. So it's not the end of the world, but it is just very convenient obviously to have a mirror right there. And in case you're wondering what that text says, it's "You are the moon, illuminating the sky with your brilliance." There we go. This is not a palette for the faint of heart. This is going to give you dramatic looks 9 times out of 10. This might be extra dramatic because I went into Aruna to add the depth. Maybe if I had kept it monochromatic and I'd stayed away from the deeper and slash bluey tones in here, it might not have ended up being quite as full on. So maybe next time I use this palette I'll stick with that. I will just use the lighter shades just to see what you can do to keep things a little bit lighter if you want to. I'm glad that I've tried this. I think I would be inclined to try Dark Winter. The only caveat with that is, with these being hand pressed, I do wonder what the consistency would be like across the board. These are really pretty. Like, I keep eyeing the shades. They're still on my wrist because I've only just done the swatches. So I keep eyeing them, and there are some, what's that shade in here that I really want to use? Bloodmoon, which is the namesake of the palette. Maybe I should have used that as an inner corner. And speaking of inner corners, I think that's all it's missing. Like, I know it's a deeper, grungier, more sultry colour story, but I think it could do with maybe just one shimmer that you could go to as like your inner corner highlight, just to kind of round out a look and make it pop. There's really nothing in here that's got that lightness, and it's really odd for me. If anything, I'm always complaining that palettes don't have enough depth. So this has gone to the other extreme where it's incredibly deep, and it could do with a lighter shade in there. I'm not too far, like for me, the transition shades are perfect. Like Lunel for me is probably as light as maybe not as light as I would want to go. Like it doesn't bother me that there isn't a matte shade in here that's lighter than Lunel. But I think it could do with just one shimmer in here that's a bit lighter. And I think, I'm trying to think what I'd switch out. Because some of the shifts make the shades look the same. It's like looking at them on my wrist, they are all different, but then sometimes because of the shift, it looks like they're all the same on the lid. So I'm wondering if you could sacrifice one of those very beautiful, like undeniably beautiful shades in here for something lighter that would give you your inner corner pop if you're someone who likes to do that. You can obviously reach into another palette, but just for convenience in the one palette, that would be, I think, my main critique of this palette. One light inner corner pop shade. I don't think I'd rush to get Dark Winter, which is handy because I can't get it right now anyway. If it comes to Monolith though, like I'll keep an eye out, and it might be something I will buy eventually based on this. I have enjoyed that. And another thing, if you have this palette, can you tell me if there's a sweetness, like a smell that's quite sweet emanating from this? I don't think it's like a sign it's gone off or anything like that. I think it must be some of the ingredients that are in there that are giving off this sweet scent. It's not unpleasant, in fact it's quite nice, I like it. But there's a definite faint sweetness to the scent of this palette. It's very unusual. Not bad, quite nice, but something I noticed. I am glad I picked this up. I know I was debating between this and Wicked Widow Beauty's Tales of Terror, and I think Tales of Terror again is something I'll pick up eventually, but it's not like I'm sitting here thinking, blast it, I should have got Tales of Terror instead. I don't have anything like this, and I was intrigued by the fact that they're hand pressed, and I was curious, and a lot of people have recommended this palette, so I'm glad to have it. And yeah, I would. It's, as I say, it's more, if you're into your soft tones, this, I think it would be pointless getting this. Well, having said that, no, I think if you like your soft tones, this might be a bit redundant. There's only so many soft looks you can do with this, and even then it's touch and go. They'd be soft on my skin tone, or softer, but not delicate. This is not a delicate colour story. So if you like your delicate colour stories, this is not for you, but I think you can probably tell that just by looking at it. Yeah. Nice though. Nice palette. I'm going to leave it there because I'm supposedly meant to get this up this evening and it's already 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Oops. As always, thank you for taking the time to watch. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I also hope to see you again in a video in a not too distant future. Take care. Bye.